Fossil Pokemon are some of my favorite parts of any game. Just getting to see cool prehistoric creatures and the occasional plant translated into the Pokemon world is just so cool. So with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet on the horizon, I've been thinking about what we could possibly see going into these games. And there's a lot I want to talk about in this video, but first of all I decided to put those community college art classes to good use and attempted to draw some ideas that I had. Now when it comes to the existing fossil Pokemon, there's actually already a pretty diverse group. Sure, there are dinosaurs, but we also have reptiles, mollusks, arthropods, and fish all represented. So for now I just decided to adapt some dinosaurs that we haven't gotten just yet. First is Paranoias, obviously based on a Parasaurolophus. I decided on this because with the other dinosaur fossil Pokemon we have, I felt this would be a good type of diversity needed. If fossil Pokemon go back to being part rock type, then Paranoias would be rock and psychic. I wanted to use this because it's one of the typings we have yet to see in fossil Pokemon. And with Dragozolt and Arctozolt last generation being electric type, I think now's the time to start introducing more special types. I haven't yet designed evolutions for these Pokemon, but I would want that to be something expanded upon in said evolution, focusing on the crest, which I already added some purple designs on to hint towards that. Look, Girafarig is just a normal animal with psychic power, so Paranoias gets a pass. Its ability is Resonant, which is a new ability I made up. This is a generic version of Toxtricity's Punk Rock, because that's just a cool ability that's great for sound-based Pokemon. It's just that the name is very specific to Toxtricity. I think this is one that more Pokemon should be able to use, so why not make a generic version? Otherwise, if I were to use existing abilities, I'd go with Soundproof as the default ability and Magic Bounce as the hidden ability. The Pokédex entry would say something like, "It is believed this ancient Pokemon was capable of producing unique sounds imbued with psychic power." I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but Pokédex entries are normally 1 to 2 sentences. Basically, I intend for it to be a Pokemon that relies on sound-based and psychic moves. We've sort of seen these two relate, but I think this would be the time to introduce a new move that's both psychic and sound-based. We did just get one with Galarian Slowking's Eerie Spell, but once again that's a little too specific. So a new move would be great. I mostly just want it to eventually become this mystical Pokemon that would have a distinct way of communicating amongst its herd. Its evolution would be named Paranormal. Second is Ancrumble, based on the Ankylosaurus. Again, if fossil Pokemon continue to be partially rock, this would be a rock and ground type. I know that doesn't seem like a revolutionary type combination, in fact it's one of the classics, but because of that I thought it would be a nice little inclusion. There's also the fact that it surprisingly hasn't been used for a fossil Pokemon. I mostly wanted this to be more of a solid Pokemon with a strong connection to the ground. The end of the tail is a simple rock, but in the evolution, I would imagine it's fitting for it to become a hammerhead shape, with which it hits the ground to use moves like Earthquake. Its default ability is Solid Rock and its hidden ability is Sand Force. Its Pokédex entry would read, "Scientists have speculated this Pokemon would use its strong tail to fight off predators. Fossils indicate it lived in deserts." Once again, that's just the quick version. I wanted this Pokemon to be defensive but also having the capability for offense, because that's just how Ankylosaurs are built. I'm a big fan of Sandstorm, so I thought it would be neat to give it a sand-based ability so it could take advantage of being a ground type. Like I said, with its evolution, I want the main concept to be a Pokemon with an Earthquake that hits hard. Its evolution would be named Anquake. And those are the first two Pokemon. I mostly wanted to challenge myself to create some Pokemon, so these two are the main focus and have been basically fully realized. But I do think that generically a Parasaurolophus and an Ankylosaurus would be cool dinosaurs to base Pokemon on. If I could really have my way, I would want these two evolutionary lines to be introduced alongside a single stage fossil Pokemon, much like Aerodactyl was in Generation 1. I had trouble coming up with a final design, but I would love for it to be a large marine reptile like Mosasaurus. This would end up being another fossil type water Pokemon, but would be a general way to fill in the gap of a giant water type. The ocean is a deep, scary place, but we don't see that being taken advantage of in Pokemon. Sure, there are large water types and some potentially scary ones, but there really hasn't been anything fitting both. And I would say it's the perfect opportunity to give this to a fossil Pokemon, since that would allow them to go for a pretty large design. I had also thought a Dilophosaurus would be a cool idea, at least the Jurassic Park interpretation, because the attributes that actually make it cool, the frill and the venom spitting, were made up. So I don't know how much Pokemon could draw from this interpretation, even though it's how the general public sees the creature. But the very concept of a venom spitting rock and poison type Pokemon would be great. Randomly throwing it out there, I also kind of wanted to make a fossil Pokemon based on the Opabinia, but it's a little too similar to Honorith based on the Anomalocaris. I do also want to address the topic of fossil Pokemon based on mammals. I think it's a cool idea, but mammals are more recent than the creatures existing fossil Pokemon are based off of. We did get Mamoswine back in Generation 4, and while it's still at its core a pig, it is also meant to be partially a woolly mammoth. hinted at by the name and the fact that its evolution method involves knowing the move Ancient Power. So here's my suggestion, just utilize that method more. Whenever Game Freak creates a new generation, they make several minor changes to previous Pokemon, like a few extra base set points and some new moves learned while leveling up. So this is a perfect opportunity to add Ancient Power to some Pokemon movesets. Give Meowth access to Ancient Power that would unlock a Saber-Tooth Tiger evolution. We've gotten so many Meowth evolutions and regional forms, so what's one more? Let Primeape evolve into a larger ape or give it some caveman attributes. Let Heatmor evolve into a Glyptodon, maybe people would remember it more. It's just that this is such an interesting evolution method that allows a handful of Pokemon to unlock their ancient evolutions without too much work. You could even just introduce new Pokemon with this evolution method or give us some regional forms. This is one of the most underutilized evolution methods relative to its potential, but those are just some of my thoughts on the future of prehistoric Pokemon. I would have loved to draw even more, but I'm just not very good with creature design and drafting concepts like this. Maybe I just need some more practice. So please tell me if this is something you'd like to see more of and consider becoming a channel member to use some of the emotes and badges that I did draw, and to show that there is some interest in this. Also, if you have any concepts for these Pokemon's evolutions, I have a Twitter and would love to hear and see what everyone comes up with. But anyway, this is GatorX and I just want to thank my channel members who make videos like this possible. Justin R, Mr. Pig Puncher, and Quago are amongst the members who will be getting a drawing of their choice for this month. So if you'd like to join in, the button is down below. Anyway, this has been GatorX, and I'll catch you all later.
Discover the strength to rule a kingdom in the Pokemon trading card game, Sword and Shield, Chilling Reign. Products sold separately. Booster packs of 10 cards vary by product. Cards vary by pack.